Village Joe worked.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
On behalf of the Port Authority Board, I would like to welcome you here today, as well as thank you for coming to celebrate with us what should prove to be a significant step forward toward the restoration of economic prosperity in Gallatin County. As the focus of the port shifts from what was basically a coal-based economy to more diversity and to a hopefully more sustainable future in other industries, it's our vision that this project will be the first of many projects to come brought about by the existence of the port. So it would be an understatement to say that we have been helped in our endeavors by the leadership of the state to us in our endeavors. So without further ado, I'll give you Governor Pritzker.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Oh, we can do better than that. Good afternoon. Great to see you. It's a great day. Always a pleasure to be here, and especially when we get to celebrate truly a major infrastructure investment that will fuel economic growth and create jobs for Southern Illinois and for this entire area region. Let me begin by thanking all of our local partners. Well, I'll probably miss a few, but I'll try to hit. Most especially Chair Mark York. Mark, thank you. Your leadership, your kindness, your ability to bring people together around this has made all the difference, and I just want to give you a big round of applause. Patrick Skates of Skates Group Intermodal, from the very beginning, Patrick came to me, didn't just knock on my door, kind of knocked me on the head and said, this is the right thing to do. This will make a big difference in Gallatin County, and so we went to work. Your vision, collectively, so many people that are here, got this project off the ground, and it's been your hard work that will see it through. And I'm very proud that our state government is able to assist you in that mission. I want to acknowledge the members of my administration here whose leadership and collaboration has made this project possible. I think many of you who are in leadership positions know that if you have great people around you, you don't need to be the brightest person in the room. You don't need to be great, but what makes you great are the people who work with you. And so I'm lucky enough to have those kind of people around me, and I want to start with our Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Gia Biaggi, Director of the Department of Agriculture, Jerry Costello, Director of the Department of Natural Resources, Natalie Phelps-Finney. These are some of the most dedicated public servants in the entire nation, and I really am grateful that they're on my team, and frankly, that they're on your team. So it's an exciting new era for the Shawneetown Port, a new investment in the future of this region. But in many ways, it's also a return to the past. Over 200 years ago, Shawneetown was the central hub of commerce in the state, in this region, including where the first bank existed in the state of Illinois. At the middle of all of that activity was the Shawneetown Port, which was booming with goods heading to and from the Ohio River, on the Ohio River. Major rail and highways connected to the port, facilitating the flow of millions of dollars in activity every single year. Gradually, there was a decline, a significant decline in port activity, and the Shawneetown Port became the least utilized river port on the entire Ohio River. When our state isn't keeping up with its responsibilities, it costs all of us business, and it costs us opportunity, it costs us jobs and livelihood. And it left Shawneetown behind. But your leaders convinced me about the potential that existed here, and they believed, as I do, that this community is worth fighting for, and they sure have been fighting for you. Viserian Grain, Skates Group, and Shawnee Harbor Service, who have really kept the port alive, these our support. So in 2022, we came together to revitalize the port and return it to its former glory. The state made a long overdue investment here with a grant provided by our Department of Transportation. And today, we're partnering to build a $27 million fertilizer offloading terminal right here at the Shawneetown Port. So this port is soon going to be revitalized with new activity, moving millions of pounds of fertilizer for our agriculture industry annually. Shawneetown deserves to be a thriving river community and with a bustling intermodal hub once again. And most importantly, we're bringing jobs and we're bringing investment and opportunity for the people of Gallatin County. And just as the movement of coal here at the port once powered the regional economy, the new fertilizer terminal will be a critical piece of our future. With prices skyrocketing, our agriculture industry needs relief. This project will cut costs for our farmers and help them feed the U.S. and the world from right here at this port. The revitalization of Shawneetown Port will lift up families across the region and keep the history and tradition here alive for generations to come. Look, my job as governor has always been to carry the storied history of Illinois into the future, into a dynamic and prosperous future. To put places like Shawneetown back at the center of our economic future, our children's future. And I'm really proud to be here with all of you to celebrate that today. I want to say to all of you that so much has been said about the challenges that exist in Southern Illinois. But I want you to know that the people of Southern Illinois and leaders like the ones standing behind me who helped to make this possible, and the ones who are sitting before me who made this possible, this is what makes Illinois great. The people of Illinois. You know, there are other Texas and Oklahoma where they've got, money coming up from the ground, right? The old Beverly Hillbillies song, up through the ground from a bubbling crew. We don't have that in Illinois. What we do have is great people. And companies want to invest in great people. And that's what, when I'm talking to businesses across the United States about coming to Illinois, the thing they want most is to connect with our people, the skilled labor, the workers, the leadership that we bring. And the state bringing infrastructure together with great people makes us hyper attractive. So thank you. Thank you for being those people. Thank you for everything that you do to make Illinois great. And with that, I want to say how proud I am to introduce one of the hardest working state leaders who drives the rebuilding of our state's infrastructure and has since she joined my cabinet and our state government, and that's the Secretary of Transportation, Gia Biaggi.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much. It's great to be here in Southern Illinois, and thank you, Governor, for making days like this possible. I'll take 100 more days just like this, not just the weather, but here, getting a project done that is this incredible transition to the future, as the Governor said. So this facility, as you all know, is a tremendous victory for this region. Huge for Illinois, as you heard, and has a positive ripple effect throughout the country. And when we talk about transportation, right, Illinois, we're at the center, right? Everything comes together, road and rail and runway and rivers, you name it. It's all coming through to Illinois. So what we do here, it has consequences for the rest of the nation and choices we make, and a great choice like this one. So we're sitting on the banks of the Ohio River to Chicago's intermodal facilities and distribution centers. We've got the 24 interstates across our state, all connected, including the ports that are along our waterways that make every difference when it comes to freight. When you look at our economy related to freight, nearly 40% of Illinois' economy is connected to freight, connected to what we're doing right here, moving goods across Illinois and across the country. And so that translates to almost $300 billion and 2.4 million jobs, the freight industry here. And we move about 1.5 billion tons of freight. It's valued at over $2.5 trillion. And that's what this is about. And all of that movement, all of that impact, our goal in transportation is to make sure, one, we're setting the tabletop to get that infrastructure in place, and that we're doing a good job of also investing to make sure that the communities around here benefit. So this is possible. Our funding is from the Rebuild Illinois program, and that is a $45 billion program that the governor pushed forward, and we're working to get shovels in the ground and hands on the shovels and cutting a lot of ribbons everywhere across the state. But through that, it was the first time we set aside money for ports. We set aside about $150 million available statewide, and this port made a great pitch and got the funding that they long deserved. So we're just humbled to be here watching this investment take place. We also have kicked in another $400,000 through our competitive freight program to help build a new entrance to eliminate those bottlenecks and that stacking to keep it moving smoothly. So at the end of the day, we know these investments are part of the lifeblood of Illinois, keeping cities and towns everywhere across the state connected to the industries that make us great. So thank you so much, Governor Pritzker, for all the leadership behind me. I think that we've got some fan favorites up behind me ready to speak, so I'll get off the stage. But it's a privilege to be down here, and so appreciate sharing in your investment. So with that, I'll introduce Director Costello from our Department of Agriculture.
Thank you very much, Secretary. I'm Jerry Costello, Director of the Illinois Department of Agriculture, and I'm a lifelong resident of Southern Illinois. We have a 5-generation family farm in Franklin County. And I hope my comments put some things in perspective from an agricultural aspect. Today's announcement marks a major investment to strengthen our agricultural economy, to support hardworking farmers in Illinois at a time when relief is sorely needed. Tariffs and lingering threats of trade wars have driven prices up on farmers. And please listen to these stats. The average tariff on inputs, The average tariff on inputs in the last 7 months has gone from 1% to 12%. The average tariff on nitrogen has gone from 0% to 10% in the last 7 months. The average tariff on herbicides, insecticides, pesticides, up 20% in the last 7 months. The average tariff on tractors went from 0 to 16% in the last 7 months. And make no mistake, the word tariff is the same as the word tax. In 2025, in the first 3 months, of that year, there were more farm bankruptcies than in the entire year of 2024, in the first 3 months of 25. Illinois, we are grateful for Governor Pritzker and the fact that he remains committed to agriculture and bolstering the #1 industry in our state. Millions of pounds of fertilizer will move through this port annually. It'll create jobs, strengthen the economy, expand transportation, and lower costs for farmers. Earlier in the week, we were at Farm Progress, literally 2 days ago. Governor Pritzker announced a $2 billion investment in another downstate area, Tuscola, Illinois, Central Illinois. Cronus Chemical will be building a new chemical plant. $2 billion invested in agriculture. With more than 71,000 farms across the great state of Illinois, farmers generate over $26 billion annually for our economy. And half of that gets exported to either China, Mexico, or Canada. This, my friends, is something we all have to keep in mind when we think about agriculture in the state of Illinois. Maintaining a level of success requires investment, and that's what's happening today. So thank you all for being here. Governor Pritzker, thank you for the investment in Southern Illinois, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you Natalie Phelps-Finney, who lives 20 miles from here?
Not quite.
Okay, not even. Director of IDNR.
Thank you, Director Costello. Appreciate your friendship so much. I've got a speech prepared, but I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty overwhelmed today, standing in front of you and thinking about my 8 years just down the road here at the Gallatin County Wellness Center as a nurse practitioner that took care of children and so many adults in this county. This day is overwhelming to me. I want to welcome you to Old Town. It's a beautiful place, but I am almost speechless right now. I'm going to try to jump into it here. I am glad to be here to break ground on this project that will inject much needed economic activity into the region, while also supporting the ag industry and supporting local jobs. The Department of Natural Resources had a comparatively small role in this project through the regulatory process within our Office of Water Resources. But our department is so proud to support projects like this that bring development and economic relief to areas of the state that so desperately need them. I understand this as well as anyone, what the people of this region have been through economically. Because I grew up just a little girl just down the road in El Dorado, and I live just a short distance from here. My children go to school here in Gallatin County. I only have one left in school, but they've all been through the school system here. And I have witnessed firsthand, as a mother and as a healthcare practitioner, the effects that poverty had on so many families. Projects like this that will bring jobs and stability to Gallatin County are incredibly important to the people who live here. This may not be as big a deal somewhere else. It's a huge deal for the people of Gallatin County in this region of Southern Illinois. And we should be so thankful to have a governor who cares deeply about this part of the state. He's doing everything he can to help it thrive. Governor, we've talked before, and I've told him, thank you so much for the money you're putting into Southern Illinois. You know you're not going to get one more ounce of support out of what we joke about. And he says, I know that, but it's the right thing to do. And the more I've been around, he cares about people, and he cares about Southern Illinois. That's what I need in a leader. Thank you, Governor. As Governor Pritzker mentioned, Shawneetown's roots as a strategic commercial hub are older than the state of Illinois itself, which makes this investment and an inland port here all the more appropriate. Once considered the commercial center of Illinois, you can see evidence of these deep economic roots in the nearby Shawneetown Bank building. And if some of you have never been there, please drive around. It's still closed to the public, but we hope to have some funding soon. It is a magnificent piece of history, beautiful building. This state historic site, managed by the Department of Natural Resources, is the oldest bank in Illinois and a tribute to the prominence this region once had as a commercial hub. In fact, the bank loaned some of the money needed to complete construction of the state capitol in Springfield. That's the kind of prominence Gallatin County had at one time, and I look forward to seeing that kind of economic vibrancy return. With that, it's my honor to ask my dear friend Patrick Skates to come forward. I'm just so proud of him and the legacy he's carrying on with the family that puts everything back into the community and is helping the ag industry. Patrick.
So much like Natalie, I'm going to have to stick to my talking points because I will. It's been a long road to get here. I appreciate everybody being here today. It's a great day for Gallatin County and a great day for Illinois agriculture. When I say it's been a long, bumpy road, my beard was literally dark. There was no gray. My wife Brandy is in the back. We weren't even together when this first started coming about, so she did not sign up for all this, but she's been there every step of the way. But today would not be possible without a number of state and community leaders working together to bring this economic development of Southern Illinois. What it takes is a community working together. I think a lot of people forget that. If you don't have a community working together, you're never going to get anything done. And as I was standing up here looking around this room, and I'm having to stick to my remarks because there's a lot of people in this room that made this possible today. And as Natalie said, this could be built anywhere, but it's a big deal to have it built here in Gallatin County, where most of my family has been most of their life. But I got a long list, but I'll be quick about it, of people that I want to thank. I first want to thank the Shawneetown Regional Port for agreeing to do this public-private partnership with SGI River Terminal. Chairman Mark York, Lane Golden, Dennis Austin, Eddie Ryder, Keelan Holloway, and Emily Roman, all a part of the Shawneetown Regional Port. Mark, thank you for stepping up Mark came on as a board member, and I think the second meeting he got named chairman, so he didn't quite sign up for that, but he took the role on and has taken it, so thank you. One other board member, I want to have a special thank you to Steve Galt. He's the longest serving board member on the port. He's also the secretary treasurer. He's been on there for over 20 years, I believe. And I don't think there's anybody in this room that doesn't know Steve. He's a Gallatin County farmer, the former EMA director, assistant fire chief, served on the school board, the housing authority, church boards, and the list goes on. The last 20 years, Steve has chased down every lead and opportunity and every grant dollar that this port can go after. And the reason this facility is getting built along with the new port access road is because of Steve. As I've said before, at his retirement party of EMA, he is Mr. Gallatin County. Thank you, Steve, for what you do for county and your community. She was unable to make it today, but another important person that was able to keep this project moving forward, and her husband Nate is here. But Mackenzie Golden, she was the first female to serve on the board, and much like Mark, I think her second or third meeting, she got named chairman. So she was the first female chair. But she's a nurse and has 3 kids and had to step away from the port board. But she cares deeply about her community, and we hope to get her back on the port someday. So thank you, Mackenzie. And Nate, please tell her thank you. I also want to thank Lockmuller Engineering for getting this project across the finish line and getting it where we are today. Alan Harding, you worked really hard from the day you got this project. I don't know where Alan's at. He's back there in the back. But also with his team, Mark Turner, Steve Fleming, Jordan Pettibone, who's working on the road project. Really want to thank Lockmuller Engineering for everything that you've done. Kyle Nieberg with Workman Construction. Thank you to all you do and your subcontractors. Once you guys want, they are doing work every single day and keeping this project on timeline. I also want to thank my business partners and family, my dad, Tom Skates, my uncle Steve Skates, my brother Tommy Skates, and my cousin, excuse me, Stevie Skates, or Stevie and Tim Skates, who are like brothers to me. Stevie and I share the office. There's a wall between us, and the first day I went into his office and said, hey, I got this crazy idea. And he was on it immediately and doing a lot of stuff for me that I did not have time for. And so Stevie, you do more for me than, and have taught me more than I can ever tell you about. So thank you very much. And he can do that because he is older than me. So the others that I want to thank, again, Illinois Department of Transportation, also local roads, Illinois Department of Transportation, Jay Krantz is somewhere, and he's a big tall guy right back here. He is keeping this project in the scope that it needs to be, so really thank him for working with Lockmuller Engineering Group and keeping us moving forward. Do a great job. Natalie Phelps-Finney, we had a lot of permitting to do on this project. Natural Resources helped along with that. Jerry Costello, I know, took a number of meetings on this project. I also want to thank Deputy Governor Andy Menard and the folks at DCEO, the help that they were doing to keep this project moving along. Senator Dale Fowler also helped along with this project along the way. Eileen Carr with Southeastern Regional Planning, she helped with a Delta Regional Authority grant that paid for that loader over there that the port owns. Brandy Bradley is here on the front row. She's with the Delta Regional Authority, and really appreciate her being here today. And also our friends of labor. I know there's some labor folks. If you raise your hand, we really appreciate what you guys do for us. Thank you. The Village of Old Shawneetown, thank you for what you guys have done. And I also want to thank People's National Bank, Bill and Hunt Bonin. Thank you so much. You guys helped. You were, again, one of the first people that we came to when we had this idea. And you were like, yes, and kept things moving forward. So thank you, People's National Bank. A couple other people with People's National Bank, Brian Ganzauer, who's over here, and Melinda Nelson, who's over here. They also keep things moving forward. And one more thing. Most of you do not know this person, but you should, because there are very few big projects in. She is still a Southern Illinois girl since she's been in Springfield for many, many years. But I've had the privilege to call Liz Brown Reeves a very close friend for my entire life. So please give Liz a round of applause. quick story. Our FFA advisors were really good friends, and so we did everything together. And Liz was a city girl, and I was a farm kid. But she beat me at soil judging, livestock judging, plant, and public speaking. She would do a much better job than me today. But her love of agriculture in Southern Illinois keeps her working in Springfield every day to improve the lives of people in Southern Illinois. So Liz, thank you again for everything that you do, and please give her another special round of applause. Lastly, but most importantly, Governor J.B. Pritzker. Thank you, thank you. I just told this story last week. We actually met with a group of ag leaders last week and had dinner and discussed about Southern Illinois issues and agriculture. And I told this story that first time I ever met the governor was at Williamson County Farm Bureau office, and he was then candidate Pritzker for governor. And he came in, introduced himself, told us about his values, what he wanted to do for Southern Illinois, or wanted to do for Illinois. But he was there to hear what we needed for agriculture and what we needed for Southern Illinois. And there was only about 10 or 12 people there. I got invited last minute by my Uncle Steve, and so I did not have a seat at the table. And so I was off on the side. And he literally went around and asked everybody questions on what they thought we needed in Southern Illinois in agriculture. And I don't know how many of you remember my Uncle Pat, but he was big voice and a big guy. And this is his ring that I wear. And some of my memories of him are giving his very loud and opinionated voice to elected officials. And it was extremely stern on when he would tell them what he thought should happen. And so a little bit of him oozed out of me that day, and it came to my turn, and I told him everything that I thought we needed in Southern Illinois and what we needed in agriculture, but what we needed on the inland river port system. And the governor not only listened, but he took action that day, because he came back to me later on and asked questions about what we had discussed that day. But that's what's important, is that he took action and brought money to Southern Illinois. So please give a round of applause to Governor Pritzker for that. Because he followed up with $150 million for the inland port system in Illinois. He directed the Illinois EPA to apply for a U.S. EPA grant that Illinois ports could go after. This port benefited from that, along with a lot of other ports throughout the state. Governor J.B. Pritzker has invested more in Southern Illinois and Illinois agriculture than any governor in my lifetime or my father's lifetime. And I've met a number of politicians and candidates, but I've only met a few elected officials. And there's a huge difference. A politician will just listen to you and tell you what you want to hear, and you never see any action. An elected official works for the people. J.B. Pritzker is an elected official who brings action. So thank you, Governor, for hearing us, thank you for seeing us, and thank you for what you have done for Gallatin County. There are many times that thank you for investing in Gallatin County. Governor, we have a lot more work to do and more jobs to bring economic opportunities to southeastern Illinois, and you'll be hearing from us a lot more. Lastly, we're excited to get this facility finished and start shipping fertilizer, hopefully in about a year. We'll be moving fertilizer for farmers and regional retailers. Most of the fertilizer leaving here, probably 75% of it, will go straight to the field. It'll have a high-speed blending system in it, and that's going to save money for the farmers. As Director Costello said, right now, Lord knows that farmers